And you're still watching Business Live with me, Charles Aite. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, together with the National Petroleum Authority, has launched the National Retail Outlet Fuel Monitoring System as part of an aggressive reform to plug all revenue leakages in the downstream petroleum sector. There is more in this report. Launching the system, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stated that the initiative will not just improve the petroleum products distribution system, but also go a long way to help government in its effort to maximize the mobilization of revenue from petroleum products.
This innovation by the NPA will not just improve the petroleum product distribution system, but it will also go a long way towards the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. It certainly would help the government in its effort to maximize revenue mobilization from petroleum products. Taxes and levies on petroleum products are major sources of revenue for government in pursuing its development agenda. Actions, decisions, and policies of individuals and corporate bodies which result in petroleum product distribution leakages and associated revenue losses to the state have serious negative effects on the development agenda of government.
The Chief Director of Safety, Esther Anku, stated that the fuel monitoring system is a demonstration of NPA's commitment towards improving the efficiency of the petroleum products distribution system. Speaking at the launch, Esther Anku revealed that the system also constitutes a major plank in the broad structures deployed to control illicit activities in the petroleum downstream industry.
Some petroleum service providers have, unfortunately, resorted to illicit activities in order to stay competitive in price. These petroleum service providers who have looked beyond reducing their margins to compete on price are rather creating avenues to exploit the petroleum tax system by dealing in petroleum products acquired outside of the authorized value chain and therefore evading paying petroleum taxes.
The National Retail Outlet Fuel Monitoring System is aimed at complementing measures already taken in the fight against illicit activities, and it is expected to monitor the receipt into the retail outlets of smuggled products, products meant for export, and diverted subsidized products such as premix and MGO local. The deployment of the system includes the calibration of underground storage tanks using the world's most advanced calibration technology, which is the Calibex 3D laser calibration technique that delivers high accuracy calibration within 30 minutes. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries is pressing on government the need to build physical infrastructure that will be able to help the country export its excess power to other African states under the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Now, according to the association, the excess power from some power purchase agreements which are not being used but costing the state can be exported in order to reduce the cost of government and industries as well. Humphrey Ayim-Daka is Vice President of the AGI.
Our take is that government is being specific, that there will be a blend of private sector investment and that of government intervention. I can just hazard a guess that government will want to get donor partners, get people like the Afri-Exim, AFDB to complement that agenda. Because it's an agenda for transformation, to deepening the transformation agenda. I was stating elsewhere that if you look at the bauxite integrated project, it's a typical value chain and agenda transformation or structural transformation agenda, but it needs a lot of capital. You could do that for the Iron and Steel Authority. You could same for even the agrarian businesses. You can go on and on. A number of policy interventions that have been rolled out that needs a lot of capital to turn it around. As that form parts of the structural transformation agenda, our critical cry has to do with power and the cost of power. Because in all these elements of structural transformation, if your cost of power is not competitive, you end up not having the capacity to export into the sub-region. So how can we navigate this cost of power? And that's why I triggered in that as much as government is doing the best regarding that, you realize that a lot of the PPAs that were signed, today we have a lot of excess capacity charge sitting down there, which we are paying for, but we do not have enough infrastructural capacity to even export it to some of the neighboring countries that form part of a service industry for export into the AFTA region. So we need a lot of money to deploy in terms of infrastructure that can send this product out. As long as we do not do that, currently sits on our books, and then it forms part of our cost of the mix for power, and then we're paying for it. That's against our desire to export my products to the West African market. And most of them in the Anglophone space have reasonable competitive figures in terms of how much they are paying for per kilowatt hour, and therefore that factor makes it a bit challenging. It's a critical factor that we need to figure out how to navigate to complement our structural transformation agenda in terms of power.
Now, in recent days, the impact of unstable power has been visible in the operations of many businesses, particularly printing houses in Kumasi. Now, the power agencies have indicated that the current situation will persist till December. Businesses in the industrial hubs of Kumasi are therefore calling for a timetable to enable them plan the operations. Prince Appiah files this report from Kumasi.
This is how the Asafo printing press enclave used to be before the recent unstable power situation. This is how most of the printing presses have turned out to be. Unannounced power cuts are wrecking the operations. Kwesi Ajekum-Hene is chief executive of Alpha and Omega Publications.
You know, our machines use card. And recently, I lost 5 of the cards as a result of power outages, and each card costs 5,000 euro. And because we don't have consumer protection, who do you report to? So it's a big problem for us all.
Asafo, a buzzing printing hub in Kumasi, is not the same anymore. Nanama is a cold store operator here at Asafo in Kumasi. Her business is reeling under the impact of the current unannounced power outages.
A customer bought meat worth 2,000 cedis. The light was off throughout the night. Now the meat is spoiled.
Her cold room is one that does not use generators to power. Today, freezing her stock is a big challenge. So this is one of the freezing compartments of the cold store here in Asafo. And as a result of the unstable power supply, the unannounced erratic power, this machine has damaged. And it would have to take the owner here more than 50,000 Ghana cedis to get a new one or fix it to get back into business. In recent days, she would have to seek the services of bigger cold room operators to stay in business.
3 cedis for long, no? Ebi so 7 cedis. And the last one, I no, 2 cedis.
The cold store operators charge us any time we send our meat to be kept in their compartments.
The cold store operators and the fish market here are among the hardest hits. The situation has affected prices of frozen products on the market.
The fish becomes soft and it's difficult removing the scale.
Fish is a box about 3 point something. A be a 4.2, a be a 5 million. And it's a box about
The power outages have affected the prices of fishes now.
Meanwhile, both ECG and Gridco have been emphatic the power situation will persist until December this year. But business operators like Mr. Ajekum-Hene and Nanama want the government to either provide a timetable or shed load only at nights for them to stay productive during the day.
The government should tell us if it's doomsday we are experiencing.
There should be a timetable set for us so that we all go by it. We will all disagree the situation whereby they are saying that they have nothing doing about that. That is unheard of.
If nothing changes with the current power cuts, electricity-dependent businesses could grind to a halt before the end of the year. Prince Apia reporting.
You can imagine their pain there. Away from that, NS Chemist Limited says it is focused to increase locally manufactured medicines to boost the indigenous pharmaceutical industry. The chief executive, NS Bediako Sampon, says this includes the production of higher quality health products to deepen the growth of the industry. He spoke at the launch of a new herbal cough product called Honey Cough Herbal Cough Syrup. Here's more.
There's an increased demand for herbal products because of the efficacy of these products. You know, it's not only of the monetary reward, but we believe that it's the demand for the product and also the efficacy of such products. That is why we are venturing into that area. And hopefully, I think it will be to the benefit of the patient, the customer, and NS Chemist.
The Food and Drugs Authority indicated that this is a major stride by the pharmaceutical company in the development of a world-class medicinal product in Ghana. Deputy Chief Executive of FDA, Yvonne Nkrumah, cautioned consumers to always look out for FDA's registration number on all locally manufactured herbal products before purchase.
When the FDA received the application for the registration of honey cough as a herbal cough remedy containing honey and 9 herbal extracts, the samples and documentation were subjected to rigorous tests and examination at the Food and Drugs Authority's laboratory. The honey-based, sugar-free, non-drowsy herbal syrup passed all the necessary regulatory requirements for marketing authorization in November 2020 for cough and throat irritation. While congratulating NS Chemist Limited for this venture into herbal-based medication, we also consider the achievement as a major stride in the development of world-class herbal-based medicinal products in Ghana.
Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Center for Plant Medicine Research, Dr. Kofi Bobi-Berima, indicated that the future of the business of herbal medicine is bright.
Herbal medicine, our mission is to make sure that herbal medicine, and then our vision and mission, to make sure that herbal medicine is a natural choice for all. And since the COVID-19 pandemic, you've seen the role that herbal medicine has been playing. So the future is very bright. Many people see herbal medicine as a natural choice. So there are a lot of researches that are going on in this area. And I think that these are one of them. And I believe that given our potential in herbal medicine, if we are able to develop it, it will bring a lot of foreign exchange and it will help so many people too in terms of business.
Online food delivery has been one of the biggest winners as countries grapple with the COVID-19 pandemic. One of those firms seeing a boost in numbers is Pizzeria. It was started by an entrepreneur, Desiree Ameleke, who hoped his delivery service would put an end to the long wait in restaurants for a meal order. He recounts on Joy Business Van how his business started.
The Joy Business Van, empowered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Deciding on what to eat is an everyday routine. Many a time you have a craving but decide to settle on something else because of distance. And even when you make it to the food joint, depending on what you want, you may have to wait several minutes, even hours. It can become a chore sometimes.
Then I was working in Tema and I lived in Adenta. So often when I close from work, I order food to pick up at East Legon. Usually when you get to the restaurant, you wait for a long while, you don't get your food. You ask the waitress there, they will tell you they've not seen your order, like back and forth.
It was this experience that got Desiree Amaleka to start Pizzeria, an online food ordering and delivery service, but he had no IT background. He used to work in a bank, but that didn't stop him from researching and speaking to friends about his idea. Soon, the online platform would be built. Pizzeria has got a web page and an app.
This is a logo. It's like a pizza running, a hot pizza on a wheel.
Okay, Play Store, you say.
You type Pizzeria.
Okay, Play Store.
Okay. So now I already have the app installed on my phone. I'll click on the app. So the app is trying to get to my location and display the restaurant nearby. So these are the restaurants nearby.
Once you make the choice of what meal you want, you have the option to get it delivered to you or pick it up yourself. You can pay online too.
Yes, we can do that for you. So you want meat lovers?
It's almost lunchtime and the Pizzeria office at Medina here in Accra is very busy.
Before, when we came up as a team to build the platform, getting customers on board, as in the merchant, the restaurant, was quite difficult. You know, it was a new concept. They didn't really understand what this online food ordering thing was about. So we had difficulties in signing restaurants up. But the beauty about it is the expatriates who owned restaurants in Ghana, they bought into the idea. But the Ghanaians who owned their restaurants, it was difficult convincing them to join the platform. However, with time, they are beginning to understand. So we are getting a lot of them signing up.
It's been 2 years since Pizzeria started operating. Now, Desiree and his workers have to grapple with so many orders and more restaurants signing on to the app. Pizzeria is making international waves too. Desiree is trying so hard not to get overwhelmed.
When we developed the system, we try marketing it locally. So we got a lot of people signing up here. Then time to time we realize we're getting orders from abroad. Usually we get orders from the US, we get orders from Holland, sometimes Chad, all over the world. India, we had a guy who is a Ghanaian in India, a medical student, he said, who orders for his girlfriend in Ghana often. So he's picking up. But the question is, if someone abroad comes on our platform to order food, how does the person pay? So we have a platform where we allow our clients abroad to pay via their Visa card. However, we receive their money via mobile money.
Despite having made a mark with foreign customers, Pizzeria hopes to expand in the sub-region.
Pizzeria wants to conquer Africa. And first of all, we want to deepen our roots in Ghana, then move within the West African sub-region. Then we grow from there.
So next time your stomach begins to growl at lunchtime, well, just smile, go online, and voila, you're in business.
And that got me craving for some meal there. But that has been the Joy Business Van, ending Business Live with me, Charles Aite. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com. We can continue this conversation by following me on Twitter, which is @ChakAite. Good evening. Enjoy the rest of our programs.